Hi, Zayn. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time and giving us energy today to talk music. And I really appreciate it because the art you're putting out into the world is special. And in my opinion, Nobody's Listening is my favorite album of 2021. And
Well,
yeah, I mean, really a phenomenal body of work that is honest, yet sexy, and catchy. And yeah, I
thank
thank you
you.
for being here to let us just talk about music. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all. It's my pleasure. I appreciate all the compliments. It's very nice of you. I'm glad you enjoyed the last album. It's probably like my favorite record too. So I appreciate that.
Hands down the most honest body of work you've put out there, right? I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I tried to delve a little deeper into my own personal things on that record, and feel like speaking in your own voice is always received the best way. The emotion for it, and I feel like that's the case with that record. A lot of the things that were on there were very personal to me, and it's really nice to get that response. From people that don't necessarily know you on a personal level, but they can understand and resonate with that. So it's really cool.
And that's the amazing thing about art, right? Like, the first listen, I escape in it and I hear myself, or I hear and see my own experiences through the records. And then, as you go to listen number three, you start to, I don't want to say I listen to music selfishly sometimes, but I do. So it's not until
Yeah.
listen three that I start hearing the story that you're sharing that's
Uh-huh.
from your life, as opposed to me taking your story and applying it to mine, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying, and yeah, for sure, that is, I think the goal for most art. Um, it's not always successful, but I was happy with this for sure.
To Begin Again is the record featuring Ingrid Michaelson. We'll get to that in a second, but why was it important for you to start Nobody's Listening with a spoken word poem?
To be honest, that was something that like I do it. Like I like to. Um, it's almost like spoken word, like you said, but it's also a little bit of rap and poetry mixed together. And I do that a lot for writing reasons. When I'm writing to write music, I'll just write poems, and then I'll take lyrics from that later on. And it was one of them kind of things that I had on my computer that was not really meant to be on my record. And I played it to a couple of people, like friends and family and stuff. And I remember playing it to my best friend, and he was like, "Bro, this is honestly the most real I've ever heard you on anything." You know what I mean? And I think it'd be really cool if you did something with it. And obviously, one of my other friends who I work with quite closely also said the same thing. I think it'd be really cool if you use it as an intro. And then, it was kind of like a no-brainer. I was like, yeah, I like it. It does speak to something different that I've never really done before, and I think people find it interesting, so I just put it out there based on that, really.
They're trying to sprint in a long run. You talk about your brain living with cannabis. I mean, just many parts of that poem resonated with me truly. And
Yeah,
and I know, like, we can laugh about Bud all day. I'll laugh about it all day, but it's changed my life for the better. That's
for
just the
sure.
truth. Um,
Yeah, there's mixed opinions on it. Obviously, I don't like to make my opinion known in too much of an advocate or against it or anything like that. I just do what I do. I don't ever try to force that on anybody else. And obviously, that's what I'm speaking about there. My own personal experiences with cannabis and with the drug, rather than trying to promote it in any way. If you know what I'm saying.
Of course, 100%. The line they're trying to sprint in a long run. That's a realization that somebody comes to in life, but it doesn't
Hmm.
happen early on, right? Like this concept of you just got to do it all as fast as you can. But
Yeah.
the reality is like this is a long run. I mean, a run
Hmm.
that takes 30,
Hopefully,
50 years.
hopefully.
Yeah, knock on wood. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. That's the way I look at things. Slow and steady wins the race. We all know the story of the tortoise on the hare. You know, it's an old saying. You know, we take our time. We're gonna see things differently, and it's not. Sorry, it's going to be beneficial for us. And it's a simple thing, but I feel like you said, the feeling right now, generally speaking, when I look at, you know, the way certain people are, or just the general vibe that's on social media, whatever, it is very rushed. It is very 100 miles an hour. Everything's right now. This has to be great at this exact moment in time, and I don't necessarily like to live my life that way.
Have you always had this mindset of slow and steady wins the race, or is that something that comes later in life?
I think you know, my teenage years, 17, 18 onwards, were very different to what I'd expected them to be. And I learned a lot, and I kind of grew up in a very short period of time, 5 years. And in that period of time, I learned a lot of things that maybe it takes other people a while to learn. And not in a selfish way, a narcissistic way that I feel like I'm better than people. It's just the circumstances that we were in kind of sped that up for us. And I learned a lot of things, and the main was just to take things easy, and, you know, take things at your own pace. Not everything has to be in a rush.
I mean, an important lesson. Question on vocals, because a common thread through the body of work is vocals are very strategic and you evoke real emotion. So when you're getting ready to cut a song, is there strategy behind how you place vocals, or do you just feel it and then see where it lands?
For me, it's never been strategic. I never had any sort of like musical training, shall we say. I never like studied music in any which way, shape, or form. I don't know how to read music from a sheet. For me, it's all based on feeling. So if I hear something and it resonates with me as a whole package, the lyric, the sound, the feeling, then, and I feel that I can give something to that, then I just try and put myself in there, like, and fit around that. Or, you know, when I'm writing my own stuff, I try to just make it fit in a realm that I understand. But like I said, it's not to any precision book or any technique or anything. It's just feeling for me, for sure. Yeah.
Feeling. This record, this top to bottom, tells a story. Is that a correct assumption, or am I wrong there?
I like to think so. Yeah, there's parts of stories in there. Yeah, it's not all necessarily cohesive, and I never really do that. Like exactly like this goes into this and this happened then, and, you know, this is chronological. They're just feelings, and even in the production, I feel like, you know, some of them are very different to other tracks, but somehow it kind of fit together because they were all on the same kind of like sentiment of what I was feeling because of the writing, and that's how it tied together. I feel lyrically, but sonically, I feel like there were so many different things. Like with the production, there were so many different sounds that we played about with. Because I like all kinds of music. I'm not biased to just one genre. I was when I was younger, but I like a lot of different things now. I like R&B more than any other genre, for sure. That's my favorite. But there's other things I like to mess around with, you know, country sounds, Bollywood sounds, you know, all kinds of different things from all over. Really, reggae sounds, hip hop sounds. I like it all.
By the way, like, you really summed it up perfectly. Is each record sounds different, but feeling and the lyrical emotion is what ties them all together. I mean, even going from like River Road to Connection, spelt with an X, different sounds.
Very different.
Connection, is that a mouth trumpet, or what is that on there?
I think it might be. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you exactly. I had a lot of talented producers help me with the record. When it gets down to like fine adjustments like that in the production, I have no problem with admitting that that's not my forte. Self-professed a writer and a singer, and I'm happy with that. I'm not trying to be a producer. I do odd things here and there, like if I hear, you know, this guitar will sound good here, or this might sound good if you did this here in my head as a melody first, like a sound. It doesn't translate to an instrument to me, so I'll say to these amazing musicians who I'm able to work with, can you play this on there? And they'll do it, and then it goes on there. But then fine little things to be honest, between me and you, that is down to the producer and their hard work that they put on the record.
That, by the way, like that's, dude, you are the company you keep. Collaboration is a key to any sort of creativity. You bring something to the party that they cannot. They bring something that, you know, you can't fully do on your own. I mean, I find it very interesting that you describe it and they take these emotions and they sonically make it come to life. But it starts with words. Is that fair to say? Like your records are starting with the lyrics?
Definitely, yeah. I like to do it that way. It can work with the sound sometimes. Like I get a vibe. I want to do a track that fits in this realm, based on, you know, being inspired by something I'll see or whatever, or hear, sorry, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, lyrically is always lyrics are always the starting point for me, for sure. I always want to get the sentiment right first.
River Road is so beautiful. It starts with the lyric, "We don't define each other," but it from my takeaway is the story of like we're two individual people and we do our own thing, but when we're together, there's something that is undeniable. There's something that we bring when we're together. We bring out the best, even though, you know, we are our own pillars. You even use that word.
Yeah.
How does a song like that begin for you?
Again, that was poetry, and I was inspired by something I'd read, and I drew inspiration from that. And yeah, I was just writing a poem one day, and then I pulled it out because I'd done like I had a friend over here in Pennsylvania where we were recording, and they were doing some acoustic like playing on the guitar, and I was like, I have this poem. If you want to listen to it, I think it'd fit if I sing it this way. And I sang it, and he was like, "Yeah, that's really cool." And then we just went from there. Went up to the bedroom, which is kind of like my studio, and just recorded the song. I did it in like maybe 2 hours. The vocal, it wasn't like a long thing because I already had it written. It just kind of flew, improv. And then when we listened to it back after, it sounded like something quite special. So like, yeah, I'd like to put this on the record. This is really cool. When I spoke to the label about it, they really liked it. So it was pretty easy from that point. Yeah, it was really cool. I loved writing that song.
Do you write down your poems? Do you record them on voice memo? How do you document this stuff?
A lot of things I write like in my phone, like on notes, or I write old school with the pad and paper. And pen, sorry, and I like to write that way. I like to see it physically in front of me. It makes more sense sometimes than if you just kind of do it off the top of your head. It doesn't fit quite the same then, for sure.
Zayn, how are you feeling? What were you going through when writing Tightrope?
So beautiful.
Tightrope. I was starting to understand certain things in my life and starting to appreciate them in a different light than I was before, and I feel like that was kind of like the sentiment of the song, that I might have necessarily been running away from something, and I kind of accepted that, you know, this is what it was and this is how I wanted it to be.
That's a game-changing or life-changing moment where you accept that, right?
For sure, yeah. There's a piece that comes with that, definitely.
What language are you singing towards the end of the song?
I'm Hindi.
Oh, that's awesome. Why was that important to include?
The song I'd actually covered a while ago, because it was just a song of mine that I really liked, a favorite song of mine. It was actually my granddad's favorite song too, and sorry, my dog's barking.
It's okay.
I had it recorded, and I wanted to put it on something in some sort of way. And then when I'd done that song, it just kind of like came to me as we were recording. I was like, this will fit here in this bridge area if I sing it like this. And I tried to put the original cover that I'd done in there and sample it, but it didn't fit because it was a different tempo. So I had to sing it differently, and it worked. I just really liked the way it sounded. And I feel like it just elevated the song, gave it a different edge to it, for sure.
How amazing is that you have the power over your own art to really do and include what you want and what you feel is necessary to tell the story of who you truly are. Like, you have that power. Is that refreshing? Is it scary? Is it empowering?
I think it's a combination of all of them things for sure. There's a pressure that comes with it, to your fan base, because obviously you want them to be happy with the music that you're putting out. And there's also an empowerment, because you get to speak about your personal experiences, and it's really your project, and in a sense, like your baby.
It is your baby.
No correlation to the fact that I'm just saying it's your project, and that is very empowering.
You related the album to your baby, right? It's like, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this one real baby, one like one like
Yeah.
but it's like a diary baby. The truth, like, because the album is a collection of your own experiences. So it is, dude. It is a part of you. It is a part of
Exactly. It's something that you work on, and it's personal to you, and you share it with the world.
Yeah.
So there's an empowerment in that, and you know, people's responses were really good to the album, and it was what I kind of wanted for the record. I couldn't really ask more for it, to be honest.
How did you meet Ingrid Michaelson?
I haven't actually met her. I'm just a fan.
Awesome.
I listened to a lot of her music, and I reached out to her, asked if she wanted to do some music, and she got back and said, I think she was in the studio at that time, and she said, I'm working on some stuff. And then she told me she had a song that she wanted me to do a duet with her on. She'd wrote most of it herself already. I just kind of came in like last minute and recorded the vocal. I really liked the song. I liked what she was saying. I felt like the sentiment was very powerful to the current climate of the world.
To begin again, that is the record, and it is very relevant because there is a truth to a fresh start as we come out of this really dark tunnel.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
When you first hear the record, what do you think? How do you relate to it? Do you need to relate to it to apply vocals to it?
Oh, for sure, yeah, definitely. I don't necessarily want to be a part of any kind of music that I don't relate to, for sure. It has to come from that place. If it doesn't, I don't feel it's genuine. And it's not only disingenuous to yourself. The fans can hear it, the people can hear it, you know. So I don't know why you would want to do anything that is fake and doesn't come from you. And I did understand exactly what she was saying, because I felt exactly the way she felt many a time in the last 2 years, and that, you know, things have been going a certain way, and that we could do with a new start in regards to whatever that may be, whether it is politically, whether it is, you know, COVID related or anything. There's a real sense of, you know, we needed something new, something fresh.
Amen.
I had a question about the cover of Nobody Is Listening. I've always wondered, what do all the faces represent?
The nobodies that are listening. Yeah, so it's basically the faces, the blank expressions that you might get when you're speaking to somebody that's not listening. I'd painted that painting separate to anything to do with the album. I just did it. And one day it just made sense. I was like, maybe I could just use that as my album artwork, and people liked it. Gigi really liked it, so she helped me with it. She did the font and the writing at the top of the album cover, and it worked. So yeah, we just went with it.
Today, as we talk, do you feel like people have listened to you and are listening?
I'd like to think so. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily correlated to me. I just meant generally, like, I feel like a lot of people like to speak and you know, voice their opinions in today's world, but people don't like to listen to other people's opinion. And I feel like there's so much to be learned from listening, and being a watcher.
What did you learn from this album and making it and bringing it to life from nothing to something so real?
I love music. I don't know if I necessarily learned anything different. It's my solace. I love writing. I love being in the studio and being in that space. It's something I love to do. I feel like as long as I'm alive, it's something I'll do. I'd like to be able to. I'd like people to remain interested for as long as I'm alive. I know that's obviously a long shot, but like I said, it's a long haul, right? And we're all trying to stay around as long as we can.
I believe it's not a sprint; it is a long run here, and it's
Exactly.
slow and steady wins this race.
More Farah.
You got to listen to this album if you haven't already. Nobody's listening. There's a link in the description below.
You mentioned that you were recording in Pennsylvania. Did a lot of this project, was that where a lot of it was done?
I recorded a lot of it at home. Yeah, I did a bit in the city, in New York. Like maybe one song and a little bit of one other song in the UK, in London. But majority of it was recorded in Pennsylvania, yeah.
Do you think spending time there had any influence on the lyrics or the sound or anything about the project?
Oh, for sure, yeah. River Road is massively inspired, I think, by living out here. I have a very country vibe going on right now with the big beard and the nature. I'm enjoying it. It's cool.
By the way, Dan happens to be a Pennsylvania native.
Amazing. Yeah.
He's a Pennsylvania guy.
Wicked.
Okay, people, listen to Nobody's Listening. Also, To Begin Again is an incredible record. Ingrid Michaelson, Zayn, beautiful. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for giving us time and energy today. I really, really appreciate it. I'm looking through my notes. I have a note on the drums on the song Sweat, very sexy.
Mm-hmm.
I love Unfuckwittable.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so you know the reference for Sweat, right?
No, please share.
It's Phil Collins.
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah.
But
so like I was saying,
is it a sample?
It's not a sample. It's just like it's kind of like in that vibe, you know.
Yeah,
I was listening to that song around that time in the air tonight, and I was just loving the song. And I asked the producers who we were writing the song with if we could like make it sound like that. And yeah, we went with that vibe, and I just really like that song. I was trying to do some sort of homage to Phil Collins. I think he's wicked.
So sexy, really beautiful
yeah.
record.
Thank you.
Do you still listen to this body of work at all? Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really proud of this record. I'm listening to it a lot. I'm writing at the minute. Writing new stuff. Hopefully, I might have something later this year that I want to release, but I haven't like got it solid yet, so I'm not like saying anything properly. But it might be the end of the year.
I'm doing a happy dance over here, and do you write every day at least? Do you write a poem, or do you try to, or how does
I try
that
to? Yeah, like right now, obviously, because we've got the kid and stuff. Like I spend a lot of time with my little girl and my missus, and we hang out a lot together. But when I can get like the evening to myself, I try to come over here and do a bit of writing and stuff. And G's really cool about it and stuff. So it's been easy. She's wicked.
I can't thank you enough for taking time away from them and just talking to us and just discussing music. And thank you for making it. Really,
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show today. It's been really nice talking to you.
Well, Zayn, anytime we're always around. And To Begin Again featuring Ingrid Michaelson is an incredible record, but Nobody's Listening is the album. Link in the description below. Zayn, thank you, sir. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Take care.
Hey, peace and love. Say hi to the East Coast.
Peace and love. You know. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.